Well, Silver Sagas is kind of an accident, or the results of a writing accident. Um, I meant to say writing. Writing seems to have come out, but they're both true. Let me start at the beginning. Many years ago, I was involved in a horseback riding accident. The horse went that way, I went that way. I was knocked unconscious, eventually regained consciousness. Probably wasn't out for too long, but at any rate, I was trying to write down what happened, probably a writing exercise, but it's the first person account of what it feels like to be knocked unconscious. And as I was writing, my imagination took flight. The horse became a dragonfly. I became a fairy princess. And I was rescued by a handsome stranger. Kind of formulaic up to that point, and then I don't know, the characters just seemed to take the story from there. I was no longer... I didn't feel like I was making it up. I felt like I was recording the events of two very, very vibrant persons. Well, yes, actually. I have pretty much always known I wanted to be a writer. Somewhere in deep storage, I probably even still have a copy of a story I was trying to write at the age of 9. Pretty bad. But as I considered my options, I quickly determined that I found the amount of research involved in writing, say, a Western or a science fiction story to be pretty daunting. You don't want to say that the cowboy called the sheriff on his cell phone, or that the ship exploded because water was exposed to oxygen. And those are very simplistic examples, obviously, but I knew that to create that kind of a world, which is fundamentally based in our world, would take a lot of understanding far beyond what I had, and beyond what I believe I could successfully research. I figured it took a working knowledge of those sorts of things. So I sort of lucked into fantasy with Silver Princess, which, as I said, more or less wrote itself. But on the other hand, I, as an author, need a frame of reference. So when I was trying to write about the mists that they encounter, I based that on an actual, I'm going to call it volcanic event, where you'll have these little vents that funnel the steam and smoke up from the volcano that's way down here up to the surface and out. And I even spent some time on YouTube. Fortunately, there are people in this world who have visited small fields that are like that, and you can actually hear the vents hissing, and you can see the smoke, and I was like, okay. And so I took that information and based an event in Silver Verity on that. And then with this new book that I'm writing, Troubled Skies, well, I invented this conveyance of sorts that's called a wind ship. In order to understand, pardon me, what it looks like, how it functions, even the fact that it really can't function, not in the real world, I have had to do quite a bit of research on airplanes, sailing ships, even some aspects of dirigibles have played into my understanding of how to create the windships as a frame of reference for me to fit it into and sort of almost be able to mentally look at while I'm writing to help me be consistent and so forth. The names? Oh my goodness. There are a lot of names in these books. You keep telling the story and you keep meeting people. It's kind of funny almost. The first name, Rebecca. I have a friend named Rebecca. That was kind of easy, no brainer there. But the other names, like Hugh's vicarious uncle, Chalmar. Yeah, I got a little more creative with that one. I had to dig a little deeper to find that. But I found a variety of sources that help me to discover what these characters are named. One of those sources is Google Translate. Pretty awesome. The free service, you can type in a word, a couple of words, if you need a phrase to get across your meaning. So for his uncle, I typed in wisdom, and I don't remember how many other words I'd tried, but you filter through the languages, French, Finnish, Irish, Welsh, Latin. I probably on a whim I tried Chinese. I don't read Chinese. So I had to rely on the option to listen to someone pronounce the word. And to me, it sounded like they were saying Chalmar. Okay. That's kind of cool. A little exotic, a little different. And the uncle definitely was both of those things, especially to Princess Rebecca, who'd lived most of her life in Castlemaine, this little royal bubble, if you will. So I took the name, or sound, of the word and broke it into two words. C-I-A-L became his first name, Chow, and Mar, M-A-R is his last name, Chalmar. And for other things like names of places, for example, there's the capital city of, or the royal city of the Sky Fairy tribe, called Regalis. And to me that just brings to mind regal. And it is a very regal and dignified and breathtaking place. I visited it briefly, but I've written about it briefly in Troubled Skies, and it's pretty fantastic. It's way up in the mountains, remote, and, without getting any further off topic, one of the other sources that I'll use, or some of the other, rather, are online dictionaries for Native American languages. Going independent. Yeah, not an easy decision, but I had tried going mainstream, I guess is the word I'm looking for. I'd submitted query letters and chapters and outlines to a few different literary agents, submitted directly to a publishing company, got rejected, and unlike Louisa May Alcott's Jo March, who of course was actually her, I couldn't keep going. I could keep writing. I wrote Silver Princess in a matter of months, 3 months I think, but it took me 5 years to really get to where I thought I knew enough had something that I could really put out there as an actual book. And no one wanted it. What do? I began researching other options. Now, I'm not a trailblazer here. I did not break this trail. The pick and axe work of independent publishing was done long before I came on the scene. And thanks to electronics and technological advancements, things like Kindle are available. So I put Silver Princess out there on Kindle. Much to my chagrin, I also had to make some pretty hefty corrections, because as their world, which is called Fairydom, as Fairydom evolved, I realized I had presented it a little incorrectly the first time around. So I made the updates, and in a way I'm really grateful I went electronically first, because that's an easy update. You make the correction on your home computer, you upload the correction to the Kindle database. Kindle lets the readers know, oh, there's an update, and they download the corrected version. Unlike now, I have a book out in print, still independent. The only offers I've gotten from publishing companies have been vanity publishing. I learned early on in my research that I didn't want to go that way. But no, I've gone with a company called Lightning Source, and for my books in print. Through them, I'm actually able to make the book available through Barnes & Noble all over the United States, eventually in even other countries, United Kingdom and so forth. Currently it's available through Kindle anywhere that Amazon is available. But it took years of research. I even hit up one of my friends in Utah, who I found out was a lawyer with some publishing experience. He reviewed the contracts with me before I signed on with Lightning Source, so that I would know what I was getting into. Just wanted to be sure, because it was a big step. Kind of expensive. It's all been an investment. And fortunately for me, I'm not in it for the money, because I haven't done the math. I'm a little scared maybe to do the math. But let's say I've invested monetarily more than I've received. On the other hand, you can't buy the experience that I've gotten as an author. The kick that I get out of finding out what happens next. Working hard to get books 2 and 3 out through in print through Lightning Source. Yeah, I've got a couple of online places where I can be reached. Of course, I'm on Goodreads, and I'll be including the web pages where I can be found at the end of this interview. So thank you for your time, and I hope you enjoy reading as much as I enjoy writing. Have a good day.